Hello, hello. Can anybody out there hear me? Hello, hello. Looks like we got one. Can you hear me? All right. Let me go ahead and switch views here. All right. So we got at least one. Oh, looks like we got about 5 viewers out there. How's the audio sound? It's been a while since I did this, so my I was a little late getting my setup set up. But just let me know in chat how my audio sounds. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the microphone away a little bit. All right. Is it too quiet, too loud? Let me know. I'm going to have to set it off to the side so I can see my monitor here. Hello, hello. Let me know how the audio sounds. Can you guys actually hear me? All right. Okay. Sound good? Need to turn it up, turn the volume up a little bit, or it doesn't want to stay. I think I might need to get a new mic stand. It keeps pushing away. Just stay. Okay. All right. Go ahead. If you're in the room, go ahead and just give me a hey in the chat, just like looks like Neo 13 right there. Let me change the resolution on my second monitor here so I can actually read it and crank it all the way up. Let's bring it down to old school 1280, 720. Keep the changes. There we go. All right. Looks like Adolph, Neo. We got two of you guys. I think you guys were just subbed a little days, couple days ago. All right, it's showing a couple viewers, 4 or 5 viewers. I don't know how many of those are actually people. Seems like there's a lot of bots a lot of times. No, looks like doing pretty good. All right, you guys ready to do some subnetting practice today? Is there anybody that is returning? So I know I did this back in the spring, but then I had to leave for 6 months. So I've been kind of out of touch with the Twitch stream here for the last 6 months since I think the last time I did this was May. So normally a lot of times people with stuff like this, once they pass their CCNA or their CompTIA Net Plus or whatever, they just kind of fade away and they don't really look at networking for a while. So if you're returning, go ahead and let me know in chat. If this is the first time you're tuning into the channel, you can let me know that also. Also, if during you can read the rules a little bit down at the bottom of the stream there, but you can during these practice sessions, I encourage questions. You can ask questions throughout. If you want to support the stream and use your Twitch Prime sub, you can go ahead and sub. It gives you access to a question mark emote, so that'll kind of make it to where I can see the question a little bit clearer in the chat there. So, but as we're going through this, just go ahead and throw out questions or comments or whatever. I'll be monitoring chat right there. If I don't see you right off the bat, then I'll glance over every once in a while. All right, who here joining us is never subnetted before? Never really subnetted. Looks like. Let me test out the delay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like about 6 second delay. All right, we got one. Neo I3 is prepping for their ICND1. I've been kind of out of touch for a while, but I guess over the summer, didn't Cisco release a thing to where the ICND1 is going away in the fall, like February timeframe? I think I was reading, seen some stuff on YouTube. So, are you trying to get one of the old school CCNA certs? Yeah, February 23rd. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So I guess we'll just go ahead and hop right in here. Maybe just a little bit of an intro about myself. I've been kind of in IT for about probably going on 12, 13 years. 4 of that was as a IT trainer, I guess. So I taught at a school. One of the things that I did teach was networking. So it's kind of like a passion of mine. I want to kind of continue that after I leave my current job. I'd like to kind of keep doing that. Currently, right now, I'm in the military actually, so I work for the government, and that's why I kind of disappear for a couple months, deploy, go away, come back, and I kind of do this on the side, just because I have nothing really better to do with my free time. So I wanted to start a Twitch channel, but I suck at gaming, so why not teach other people how to subnet and how to do networking? So the channel's not only geared towards subnetting. Obviously, it is the name of the channel. That's just kind of just a cool play on words, I guess, just for a quick channel name I threw out. But we will in the future be covering all sorts of fundamental networking stuff. So kind of at the level I've ICND1, we will eventually go a little further, but just to kind of work all the bugs out and everything like that, we'll be kind of starting kind of really low. But today we're going on to subnetting. So the way I teach, okay, so student India, nice. I was in India a couple months ago in big town called Chennai, India. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's on the where was that? The East Coast. So awesome little place. I got to ride in one of those yellow taxis. So that was kind of cool. But all right. Anyway, back to kind of networking and everything. So we're going to talk about subnetting today. If you're familiar with the here, let me turn myself up. So if you're familiar with the YouTube channel Khan Academy, that's kind of like the style that I teach here. So I have a graphics tablet here, so I can go ahead and with a pen, I can open up Photoshop and I can kind of sit here and scribble away just like a virtual blackboard. So here, I keep turning away. So that's kind of how we're going to do that. I zoomed in a little bit. So who's ever seen this chart before right here? So this subnetting chart. So the method that we teach here at the channel is utilizing this subnetting chart. We this is a super quick way. You might have seen it referred to as the 7-second subnetting or something like that. There's a video, really good video out there on YouTube about this. But this is the method I'm going to show you today. So I'm not really going to go over any fundamental subnetting material today, just because we're just going to dive right into it. So eventually, as we go on, you'll kind of catch on. But let's start off instead of sitting here and talking. Let's start off and talk about this. So there's two core there's two reasons you would have to I guess subnet if as a network admin. You would either have to subnet as a in the sense of a network designer. So if you have let's say you have a network here, you have two sites connected with some routers, right? And you got a couple of machines out here, right? So switches. So I'm still trying to get a hang on drawing back on this tablet. So just bear with me here with my scribbles. Hopefully as we go, my drawing will get a little better. So let's say you have two networks here, and two routers connected by a link, and you have you have so you have one network here, and you have let's say you have a network address of like 192.168.0.0. It's a /24, and you want to divide that /24 network up into three different networks, right? So you would have to borrow bits, right? So how many bits would we have to borrow? Go ahead and throw that into the chat, right? So right now we have a /24 is a 255.255.255.5.0. So we have 8 bits, 8 bits, 8 bits, 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. So we have 24 bits. This is the network portion, and this is the host portion. of the address. So if to make more subnets, we've got to borrow bits from the host portion and expand that network portion out. So for every bit that you borrow, if you know about binary, it's if you borrow 1 bit, that's splits it into 2 networks. You borrow 2 bits, that splits it into 4. So currently, right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 8 zeros, right? I'm not going to draw 8 zeros. So if I convert one of these, so this is currently a /24. If I convert one of these host bits into a network bit, that's going to give us 2 networks. And then if I convert another one, that's 4. So just like binary, you get, a 1 and a 0, 1 and a 0, and then so on. So if I want to convert this 192.168.0.0 with a /24, if I want to split that into 4 separate networks, I'm going to have to borrow 2 bits, right, to get our 3 networks. So we'll need one. Let me switch different colors. We'll need one network, 2 network, 3 networks, right? And then the 4th network will just kind of be like a spare, right? We can only do these even binary numbers. So let me get all this stuff out of the way. All right. So let's start off looking at our chart up here. So we can take our chart right here. Let me move this out of the way. So I used to use a program called Smooth Draw to do all of my past streams, but I've actually switched over to Photoshop. It seems like it's a lot easier of a program to use. So hopefully I'll be able to do it. All right. So the beauty of this chart. So kind of get the lay of the land. It looks like a big field of numbers. I don't really you don't really tend to use this chart in the real world. This is more for like exams and stuff like that. It's super quick. If you've ever taken a like a CompTIA Net Plus or a Cisco exam, you'll know that at the very beginning they give you like kind of like a piece of scratch paper, or it's normally like a dry erase little mini paper board thing to where you can take notes during the exam or just do whatever. And you have a little bit of time before the timer starts to kind of learn how to use the testing software and everything like that. That doesn't count against your X period of time for the exam, like 90 minutes if you have 90 minutes for the exam. So anytime I take an exam like that, I write this chart down. And at the end of the stream, we'll go over how to not really memorize all the numbers of this chart, but more memorize how to write it down. There's a really simple pattern how to regurgitate this within minutes that you can learn. A couple practice sessions, you can, probably 10, 15 minutes, you can be writing this chart down super quick. So kind of a lay of the land of the charts here. We have our CIDR section up here, classless interdomain routing, right up here in the green section. So this is normally what you hey, Rubber Mullet, thanks for the follow. So this is your CIDR portion right here. This is just like how down here I have a /24. I really need to learn how to draw arrows here, but I have a /24 down here. That's, if you can imagine, all of these up here just have slashes right there. So here, here I'm gonna mute. Oh well, just hold up real quick. I'm gonna change something. All right. Hopefully that's a lot better. I had here. Let me show you what happened. I was this thing right here was set there. I couldn't see the board, so I just took this off. All right. So going back here, hopefully I don't start popping on here because I took that pop filter off. Anyway, back up to the CIDR field up here. So these are all your CIDR or your slash notes. Now, can you hear me? I don't know what happened there. I think it's because I shut my audio interface off and back on. I had to restart the OBS software. It's showing it's good on my end. How can you guys hear me over there? Can you hear me? Okay. Looks like it's. Sorry about that. So that's kind of half what I'm doing on this stream right now. That's why we're kind of just jumping into subnetting because I wanted to work out all the bugs with all this newish equipment that I've got since the last streams. All right, so looks like we're good. A couple people are rogering up that they can hear. All right, so back here. So this chart, it helps you solve subnetting problems. So if you've never seen this chart, you've probably learned to do it via binary or some sort of method like that for subnetting, which is long, drawn out. You actually go in and you convert 192 to binary, and you convert 168 to binary, and you do all that, and you convert the /24 the subnet mask to binary, and then you do this bitwise and it takes 20, feels like it takes like 10 minutes a question, and that's just not feasible during a exam like a Cisco exam, because it's just too long. You have that limited amount of time, so you have to do it. Excuse the noise real quick. I'm gonna pop this on. All right. Hopefully that'll help with the pops that you've been hearing. All right. So this kind of just shortcuts a lot of those methods here. It just kind of it makes it all a lot easier, a lot simpler. You can just use this chart to quickly do it. So going back here, we have our subnet, and then we have our decimal values. One cool thing, let me erase this. Let me erase all this stuff just to clear a field. We'll get to a question really quick after. I kind of mistakenly jumped into a question real quick, but I forgot we need to actually go over the chart before we use the chart. So we have our CIDR, block. We have our subnet block, and then we have our decimal value block right here. So one cool thing is you might have seen subnet mask wrote two different ways. You might have seen it wrote with the old dotted decimal, so 255.240.0, right? You might have seen it wrote as /19. You might have, those are kind of the two different methods. One awesome thing about this chart over here is it converts. You can convert between the two. So on Cisco and CompTIA exams, you're going to see the subnet mask wrote as both formats, as this slash notation, or as this dotted decimal, kind of like a IP address, the 4 octets. And so if we let's get an example here of converting. Let's say we have a /22, right? What does that mean? That means there's 22 ones and zeros, right? The old school method is you go out and you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, so 6, and then 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So that /22 is basically telling you have 22 ones and all the rest are zeros. And to convert /22 to dotted decimal, you would then have to go and convert. This is 255 in binary. This is 255 in binary with a dot. And then you have all of these. And this is 252 in binary. And then this is 0, right? So /22 is 255.255.252.0, right? Or you can just disregard all of that binary conversion, and you can go ahead and utilize the chart right up here. So let me get a nice good highlighter color. And so let's say we have a /22, right? So that's our /22. Let's turn this down. All right, so we have a /22 right there. That means if I go over here, that means it's going to be 252 in the 3rd octet, right? So if I do that, you can just go over and down, 252 in the 3rd octet. So I can tell you that /22 is all others are 255 before that. So 1st octet, 2nd octet, 3rd octet, 252. Right? That's /22 is 255.255.252, right? And as you guessed, you could go the other direction too. So let's say we have a subnet mask of 255.192.0.0. We could do the binary method, which is going the other direction, which would be 255 is 8 ones, right? 192 is 2 ones, and then the rest zeros, right? But that would be the fool's way. That would be the slow way that actually requires math. What is /18? Oh, you're saying the answer. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So you're looks like Neo is getting the hang of it here. So if we look at first octet, second octet, third and fourth octets here. So in the second octet here, we have 192. So if I go 192, go up to second octet here and go over, that means it's a /10. So you said /18, Neo. That would be actually a /18. If I do write it out here, would be actually 255.192.0, because /18 would be in the third octet, first octet, second octet, third and fourth octet. So it would be right there. But you're kind of getting the hang of it, right? So just make sure you pay attention to your octets, and it's just like a grid. You're just going and you're just lining up those numbers. Super easy, right? So let's do another quick practice here. Let's convert a /23. Somebody go out and just utilize this chart right up here and just convert /23 and throw it in the chat, right? So I encourage participation. I like participation. So that's so go ahead and throw /23. Where is my cursor? There it is. So we got 255, 255, 254. Right, looks like, yep, both those are correct, right? So if you look at a /23, right over here, we're going to find our 23, right? So that's going to tell us third octet, 254. Everything else is either zeros or 255 in subnet mask, right? So zeros or 255. So if we write 254 in the third, that means our fourth is going to be 0. That means our second is going to be 255, and our first is going to be 255, right? So that's one super quick thing. Most of the time, you're not going to see a question specifically asking this, but it helps to know that. So even outside of an exam, a lot of Cisco equipment and software will utilize the slash notation just like that more than they will the dotted decimal format. So I just I have a little notebook I carry around, and this chart right here is just wrote on the inside cover. Just I always have it with me. A lot of times you can download a subnetting app, but a lot of times it's just quicker to take a look at this chart and you can just do a quick visual calculation. So that's one thing you can do with the chart. Is everybody kind of following me? Numbers less than 9. So that is a good thing, right? You might notice that there is a blank on the first level. You're actually in subnet mask, rarely if any are you ever going to see anything smaller than a /8, right? Because way back in the day, with the classless or classful subnetting, a /8 was the biggest address. It is possible in some instance to have a /7, but that's going to be so many devices on a network. It's just not conceivable, especially with the exhaustion of IPv4 addresses. You're just not going to see anything below a /8. And that right here, this would be, you'd have /8. But yes, you could expand this. I just never do write this top row. You could write that top row out there, and but I just never do, just because you're never gonna see a question like that. But if you want to, you can. It's your chart. All right. So let's actually get back to a question. Let's say I'm given from a higher entity, it could be a higher level admin, network admin, or whatever, just whoever. They went and they gave me a network, right? So let's start easy. Let's start. Well, no, let's go 172.16.2.0, right? And let's say it's a /16, right? So we have, is this used in IPv6? No. So IPv6 is we'll have a IPv6 lecture in the future. There's actually so many, IPv6 is hexadecimal, and it's IPv6 is its own animal. So yes, technically you can subnet in IPv6, but it's totally different methods. Well, it's roughly the same method, breaking down binary and everything. This chart will not work for IPv6, right? So you cannot use this chart for IPv6. This is IPv4 only. So this is IPv4 subnetting, not IPv6. So, well, see, that's the thing. This isn't binary to decimal conversion, because we're not, with this chart method, that's what we're avoiding, to even go into binary. So, IPv6, we'll talk about that in the future, but IPv6 almost has enough addresses to where a lot of the times you do not have to subnet. It's just, what is it, like something like 8 undecillion or 16 or some outrageous amount of number, to where IPv4 only has like 3.4 billion total addresses. So we're kind of getting off on a sidetrack here, so let's continue on. But that was a good question. If this goes for IPv6, and the answer is no. This methods do not work for IPv6. We'll talk IPv6 in the future. All right, so we have our example here. Let's say we're given a IP range address 172.16.2.0 with a /16, right? So if you know how IP addresses work, /16, if we go up here, 16 second, that's 255 in the second, so that's a 255.0.0 is our subnet mask. So that means that is our network portion of the address, and that is our host portion of the address. So we can rob bits from this host portion and make our network a little bigger here, or not make our network bigger, make our networks actually smaller, and split them up, kind of subdivide them. That's exactly what subnetting is, right? So let's say we're going to go and we have this network, and we are going to subdivide it up into 4 equally sized networks, right? The old school method of going and doing it binary wise is you're converting all these to binary. We're not going to go over it. Just forget about that method. If you learned it, this is the method that you want to go for. So with this example, you kind of have to know binary a little bit to know how many bits you're gonna have to rob. So we have 16 available bits, right? Because a IPv4 address is 32 bits long, right? So we have 16 in our network, and currently right now 16 in our network and 16 in our host, right? We're gonna rob some of these host bits. We're gonna rob some of these host bits right here and make another section for our subnet section. And let me actually just Control Z all the way through all those notes. And the first step is we have to figure out how many bits we need to borrow. Now, this is where it kind of gets a little binary-ish, right? If we borrow 1 bit, that's going to make it 2 subnetworks, right? Because we either have a 1 or a 0, right? If we borrow 2 bits, that's going to give us 4 networks, because now with 2 bits, we can either have them 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, or 1, 1, right? So that's 4 possible combinations. So, and if we want 4 networks, so we're going to borrow 2 bits. So we are going to add 2 to our existing subnet mask here. So we're going to add 2 to there, which was going to give us a /18. So now we're going to make 4 networks with a /18 with each network. So that's where our decimal line is going to come into play. So for each network, does anybody know what 4 pieces of information we're going to need to implement this network, all these networks? So the 4 pieces of information that we're going to need is our network address, our first usable, our last usable, and our broadcast. We don't need to know the broadcast, but it's kind of good to have, right? So yeah, we need to know the network address, the broadcast, and the range, right? So the first usable and last usable, that's our range, right? So we need to know that piece of information for all 4 networks. That's where our decimal line comes into play here. So I'll just erase it. All right, so we're going to have 4 networks here. We're going to have network 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need to compute our network address. So with our network address, we can go ahead and compute the first usable, last usable, and broadcast. So with this method, the biggest thing you'll have to do in math is add or subtract 1. Super, super easy. So let's look at our first address, our first network address. Let's go ahead and write network address is here. The first network address is always going to be our starting off network address, right? 172.16.2.0, right? And our subnet mask is going to be a /18. It's going to be a /18 for all of these networks. So our second usable, if we look here, 16 on the second, right? That was what we had. Now we computed a /18, which is going to be, if I go ahead and put, let me do a different color, /18, that means the third is going to increment by 64. Wait a minute. Oh, I screwed up. This right here needs to be a 0 because we can't have a /16 and that be a 2. My bad. So starting address is 172.16.0.0. I should have really planned out these examples. So let's get our green color back here. So we have that's going to be our starting off address is 172.16.0.0. We'll do we'll do a bunch of examples here. Our second address, if you look here, our decimal value of 64, that means we're going to increment. Some people call that line the increment value and not the decimal, but you can call it whatever you want. 64 in the third octet. So that means 172.16.64.0 with the /18 as our subnet mask. All right. Nice. So framed geek. Thanks for the follow. All right. So, and then we just keep incrementing that value. 64 plus 64 is what? 128. And then we have 128 plus 64 is 192. And then right, there's no 5 network, because if I was to add 64 to that, that would actually be 250 or 256, which is not there, right? We borrowed 2 bits, so we're only getting 2 networks out of it. All right, so and those are all going to be /18. Has anybody ever seen this method before and just kind of here to get a refresher? Get a refresher with this, or no? Oh yeah. If you haven't seen the stream before, you will know I have always a nice rivalberry. If anybody knows the representatives for this company, go ahead and let them know that a sponsor would be awesome. Odom, are those like online trainers, I think, or like authors? The Colero and Odom, Autumn. Anyway, all right. So any questions on this example here? So remember, this is looking at a subnetting problem as a network admin or a network designer. We're kind of we're taking an existing block of IP addresses and we are kind of subdividing it, right? So we're kind of starting new. Oh yeah, Cisco exam books. I forgot. I learned this method when I started teaching networking. So the guy that I took over for kind of showed me this method, and it was hands down the best method always. Oh yeah, the CCNA cert guides. Yeah, those are good. Big thick books though, unless you get an ebook, obviously. All right, you guys want to do another example, and we'll you guys can get out a piece of scratch paper and use the chart on my screen or write it down, copy it, do whatever, open up Notepad and follow along. I highly encourage to follow along, not just watch these videos. And it seems like we're getting a lot of good chat participation too, so that's always good. And don't forget, if you want to ask a question, just go ahead and ask a question. And if you sub, you get a special question emote that will make it to where I can see the question a little bit better, right? And if you don't know, if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon Prime with your Twitch Prime and get 1 free sub. It costs you no more, and it helps me pay for this room. So I actually do not have a place to stream where I live at because there's other people that's living there, so it's not a quiet place. So I have to rent this awesome room out from a local co-working space, and so I have to rent this room out. So anything that you can do helps. A follow, of course, is free. It helps me get more followers and more exposure. But a Twitch Prime sub, you can be actually the first sub. So we'll see at the end of this stream if we get anybody that subs. You can be the inaugural sub of the sub network. So All right, let's go back for another example. Let's start off with the good old Class C private range. Zero. Let's do 2.0, and we're starting off with the slash 24. So what was wrong with the 172? It's that third octet, that dot two was you can't we this it's like a we kind of jumped right on into how to compute subnetting. We didn't really cover the introduction of it. Well, we can do that in the future, but I just wanted to kind of do this as a test stream today. So there was a lot of assumed knowledge, but the slash the two in that third octet was the problem. Yeah, we needed, you have to have zeros in the host portion of that, and dot two was not having a complete block of zeros in that host portion. Yeah, so just like LCG1 says, yeah, we couldn't have that two in that third octet. All right, yeah, and that was my bad. I probably should have wrote out these examples before, right? So let's say we have starting off network address of 192.168.2.0. That would give us a possible of 256 addresses, and then you subtract one for broadcast, one for network, so 254 possible addresses here. And let's say we want to split this off into 4 networks again, right? And this time we'll actually compute the 4 pieces of information that you need, right? The network address, the range, and the broadcast, right? I forgot to do that last, but whatever. So let's look at get my face off the screen there. So let's compute our network addresses, right? So we're going to split this into 4. So how many bits are we going to borrow? So I'm not going to write anything down until someone throws it out in the chat. How many bits do we need to borrow to make 4, right? It's the same 2, right? 2 bits we need to borrow. So what's going to be our new subnet mask, right? We're starting off with a slash 24 here, and we're going to borrow 2 bits. So what is that going to get us? What is borrowing 2 bits going to get us? So slash 24 means slash 26. So learning is occurring, right? So our slash 26, that means our 4th, let me choose a better color. Slash 26, that means our 4th octet is going to increment by 64, right? Last time when we borrowed 2 bits, we went from 16 to 18. That meant our 3rd octet. But so here's the power of the chart. All you do is just find your subnet mask, and either in dotted decimal format, right? If our dotted decimal slash 26, if I was to slash 26, right? If I was to convert that over to dotted decimal, would be 255, 255, 255. So slash 26 4th, 192, 192, right? So it could have been given in both. Yeah, nice. Adolf. Hopefully I'm saying that right. That's our subnet mask, right? So our new one here is going to be slash 26, which is going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4 networks, right? So let's go ahead and our first one, what's going to be our first network address for our first network? If you remember back, someone go ahead and shout out what's going to be the first network. Exactly. Our starting point. right there, right? So 192.168.2.0. So we are with the /26, we're going to increment that fourth octet by 64. So that means our next one, 192.168.2.64. Boom. Next one. Go ahead. Someone shout it out before I write it down. Remember, there's a delay. 128. Nice. And then last one, 192.168.2.192. So all we're doing is just adding 64, not 66. 64. All we're doing is just adding 64 all the way down until we just get our 4 networks, right? So let's go ahead and let's choose. Pick a number between 2 and 4. Somebody pick a number between 2 and 4. First number on chat wins. 2 to 4. Somebody pick a number. And we're going to find out our information here. 3. All right. Neo. 3. So we're going to find what are the 4 pieces of information we need to know, right? To implement that network. Or that network, we need our net address, not our nef. It looks like an F. Net address. We need our first usable, last usable, also known as your range, and your broadcast. You don't need to know your broadcast, and that does not look like broadcast. You don't need to know your broadcast, but it is a good thing to know. Yes, we already know the network ID. Good. So that's going to be 192.168.2.128. Now, who knows how to get the first usable? So let's not jump ahead with broadcast. We'll talk about, let's talk about first usable. First usable is going to be your network ID plus 1. Add 1. Exactly. So 192.168.2.129. That's going to be your first usable. Then what our broadcast. Now, the broadcast, as who said that first usable, so you can use it as a router. So who is that? Small P's 81. Like traditionally, you can technically use it for any device on your network, but traditionally network admins assign that first usable for the router just to kind of, I don't know, just to make it easy, right? It doesn't have to be. Normally by like the old Linksys routers, they would set 192.168.1 would be the router address just by default. You can technically have your router be, you know, in this instance, you could have it be .130 if you want, but it doesn't really matter. But traditionally, you would assign it as that first usable. I've administered networks before where they used the last usable. Just, I don't know, the person just wanted to be different for whatever reason. But so they would use the last usable. I don't know why. Sometimes they might use the middle. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes you might have multiple routers on a network. But as we go on more lessons in the future, we'll talk more about that kind of the makeup of, you know, assigning actual addresses to devices. But getting back onto here, broadcast. Now, your broadcast is going to be your next network's network ID minus 1. Next network's network ID minus 1. So in this instance, it's going to be, let me get back my blue. It's going to be 192.168.2. Our next network over here, as you can see, is .192. That's the network ID. Minus 1 is 191. Everybody tracking? Everybody following? Then your last usable is your broadcast minus 1. Just like your broadcast was your next network's network ID, your last usable is your broadcast minus 1. 192.168.2 minus 1 is 190. Slash them zeros. Nice. So who's learned so far? Who's picked up on kind of who was shaky on subnetting before, and then they're kind of improving. I like to know the if people are learning. How's the stream? How do you guys liking it? Is there something is my handwriting good? Kapow. Nice. Yeah, the table is really helpful. All right. Have small P's. Do you know how to subnet? Because we kind of, yeah, handwriting's fine. Hopefully I get used to it. I used to use a different tablet, but this is a newer tablet, so my handwriting is pretty atrocious anyway. But and I'm trying to let me show you what I'm dealing with here. I'm trying to look through the microphone here. Let me see if I can move. So I'm trying to see through the microphone and write down on here. So it's a little challenging right now, but we'll see. Hopefully I can get a better setup, right? If we get them subs, right? If we get a lot of subs and we start getting some coin with the channel, then we might be able to improve the situation here. So there's 61 usable. Yeah, 62 usable. Yeah, there's 62 because there's 64 total addresses. So you have 64 total, minus 1 for the network and minus 1 for the broadcast is 62 usable. 62 usable. All right, let's keep with this question here, and let's do the same thing, but let's do it for the fourth network. So let me kind of clear this off here. The fourth network is a little different. Who can tell me why the fourth network's a little different here? Let's do our big 4 pieces of information for our fourth network. Net, first, last. Let me try to write slower. Maybe my penmanship will be better. Broad. All right. So kind of I see what you're trying to say there. 3.1 is so our problem, well, not problem, but the difference with this last network here is going to be our broadcast, right? Because if you remember with our third network, our broadcast was the next network minus 1, right? But if you look at 3, we have our next network is 4 right here, 192. But if you look at our fourth network, we don't have a network there, but we do. Right? We have the first network of the next range. 3.0, not 3.1. So Neo is there. They, I guess I need to be gender unspecific here, is they're almost correct with 3.1, right? So let's go ahead and do this example here with for our network, right? Somebody scream out the network in the chat. Sleepy, 5:30 a.m. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the worst part about India is trying to call home. And it was I think it was like around 12-hour difference or something like that. Right. 192.168.2.192. Right? We already have it. It's right there. Arrowed. So what about our first usable? Don't say the first usable. Oh, yeah. It's awesome. Thanks, small piece. But how do we compute that? Somebody throw it in chat. It's okay. There's a delay, so um yeah, throw it in chat of how you compute it. So small piece put the correct answer out there, 192.168.2.193, but how do we compute that? How did they come with that answer? Net ID plus 1, right? So 192.168.2.193, right? 192 plus 1. All right, now what are we going to compute next? What's the easiest thing to compute next? Yeah, so the net ID is not going to be assigned to a device. So a lot of times, people starting off with networking, kind of studying for exams and stuff like that, they kind of falsely assume that the net ID is used for the gateway, but it is not. The net ID is used to identify a network. It's kind of like a, I was going to say zip code, but we have international students in here, so they might not kind of know what that is. But it's more of it's the address for the whole network as a whole. So it's used a lot in routing tables. So when we talk about the networking process and we talk more about networking routing tables and stuff like that, then you'll see those net IDs actually being used. They're put in network tables, but they can't be assigned to a device. Broadcast. Yep. Framed Geek is correct. Broadcast. So tell me how we're going to compute that broadcast. Oh, wow. We've been going for over an hour already. Time flies. Yeah, how are we going to compute that broadcast? Somebody throw it out there. That is the easiest thing. Not what the address is, but how we're going to compute it. Anybody? Somebody. Add 64. Adding 64 is how we got all the network IDs over here. Close. Next network minus 1, right? So that's why I drew out this next network right here, right? It's not included in our 4 networks. That's why network number 4 is not really the hardest, just a little different. So net ID minus 1. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, though, because you got to think as an IP address as like an odometer, right? So in your car, old school cars, you have the little wheels, right? So you have the little wheels in your odometer, and they're like spinning down. And when one goes to, like, let's say you roll the odometer backwards and you go to 0 and you roll it backwards, it's going to go to 9, and it's going to do that. So if you think of an odometer, if I roll this back 1, it's going to go back to 255, which is also going to roll this one back. It's going to roll this one back 1 to 2. Awesome. Expect errors. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate the follow. Ooh, we got another one. Follow G. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for the follows, guys. All right. Oh, wait. Another one. LCG1. Oh, nice. Thanks for the follow. They're coming in. Never used Twitch before. Awesome. Yeah. I never streamed before last spring, but I do watch Twitch a lot. There's a lot of good stuff on Twitch. Most of it's gaming, but in the future, just kind of like as a quick tangent, I do plan on doing game streams, but not really in your traditional sense. We'll kind of throw a game on as I kind of interact with the chat, answering networking questions, but that's down the road. All right, let's go back to this before I lose people. So broadcast is next network minus 1, so that's going to be 192.168.2.255, right? Odometer. So we rolled that 0 back to 255, which rolled this back to 2, right? And then what's our last usable? Just go ahead and shout it out, right? It's our broadcast -1. And just to speed this up, because we will be here all day, 254. Didn't say it. No worries. I found it via Reddit. Yeah. Awesome. What'd you stream, Expectors? Didn't save it though. I was finishing a link. It's a vector class to help me learn CPP. C++. Nice. VI. So you use Linux? The old VI. Yeah, I use Linux in my job too. Awesome, my day job. All right. Any questions on this one right here? I'm already erasing. Any questions? We always have Control Z. Vim. Yeah, the improved VI. It's all the same though. Yeah, it's a frustrating program. All those escapes and exclamations and WQs and I have that you need to get, if you're going to use VI, get the pocket reference. Same goes with Linux. I think O'Reilly puts those out. Good publisher. You have to have that pocket reference. It is frustrating without it. All right. You guys want to do another one like that, or do you want to look at how we compute subnet mask kind of on the other end? So that was more how to do subnetting as through the eyes of a network designer, kind of like we're given an address and then we need to split it up to make more little networks, right? But then there's another way to where we have an existing network and we need to figure out what our first usable, last usable broadcast network of an existing machine is. Do you guys want to look at how to do that, or do you want to do one more practice? Permutations. I don't know what you mean by that. New topic. Okay. I think there's a way to do a poll in here with Twitch, but I don't know how. Manage a poll. Let's see. Let's click on this. It might create new poll. Ah. Let's see how that goes. I don't know how everybody votes, though. Does anybody know how to vote with the poll? Looks like 100% is new topic. When the order does not matter. Yeah. In the chat. Okay. Yeah, I'm not watching the actual stream. I guess I could pull that up. Let me mute. I will get feed. Oh, it is already muted. All right. Oh, there we go. That's cool. So it looks like 100% says new topic. So we'll move along with a new topic. All right. So we've been talking how to subnet when you're designing a network. Now let's look at how you do it as a network admin. This is going to be the more likely scenario, especially if you're just starting out in networking and you're going to get a job in network admin. This is going to be what you're going to be doing 90% of the time. A lot of times you're already going to know this information just because, you've been working on that network for a extended period of time, but and you kind of memorize it, but you might be in a situation like I worked a job for a couple years to where I was constantly going into new environments, right? I would go into a new network like almost every week. So it was like constantly changing, and I just had to do an information. So let's actually I'm gonna go ahead and open a command window. Just do a quick IP config because I don't know this network that I'm on right now. So let me look at this. I'm gonna change the number slightly, but let's say you have a IP of 192.168 dot, let's say 130.58, and our subnet mask, and I'm going to do this in dotted decimal, it's going to be 255.252.0, right? So that's our example there. That's a slightly changed IP address for my machine right now. I'm on an unfamiliar network, not really in any of my sites right now. So first off, what do we want to do? What do we want to find out first off? Right? Is what I would want to do is I'd want to convert that dotted decimal to our CIDR notation so that we can utilize our chart, right? How are we going to do that? So the viewers that kind of joined us at the beginning and know how to utilize the chart, right? So we're going to do 252. Let me get like a highlighter color. Yellow. That's good. So 252 in the third, 22. Who said that? Neo. Nice. So 252 in the third octet, that means we have a /22. So if we can go ahead and just write that, 22. So /22, what does that mean? That means our third octet is going to increment by 4. Now, if you notice, third octet increment by 4, you kind of have to go back to the classful subnetting, right? So that's your /8s, 16, 24. You need to bring it back down to one of those. It just makes it easier, right? So /22, we're going to bring it, let's pretend a /16, right? Which would make our first network 0, 0, right? Because network portion, host portion, right? And with a /22, we're going to increment that third octet by 4. And I'm just going to pretty much write out all the networks. I'm not going to actually do it because we'll be here all day until we get to our 130. Now, here's a little tip. You can always, if that octet is greater than 128, you can just skip to 128. 128 is kind of like the halfway point. So since we're at 130 in that third octet, we can skip to 128. So I don't have to sit here and go 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And I'm here all day and I'm wasting time. And the exam is, the exam clock is ticking, tick, 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 tick. And we're losing seconds, right? So taking those exams, it's all about time, right? Time saving. So since we are above 128, we're just going to skip ahead to 192.168.128, right? There's a bunch of networks above us. 0, 192.168, plus 4 is 132, 0. So what is our network ID? Knowing all of that. Hopefully you kind of followed that. I know I kind of went fast there, but what's our network ID? Who can tell me what our network ID is with that example? Anybody? Is everybody still here? Did I lose anybody? 192.168.128.0. That is correct. Correctamundo. There's a lot of bots in here. What is this? Commander root is always in here. 128.0. That is correct. That is acceptable in the chat. Neo, like he did, he shortened it. We don't need to know this information. That's just kind of assumed. You're human. That's debatable. I'm joking. I had a coworker one time. It was debatable if he was human, but that's normal with the ITs, with the IT department. Who's ever seen IT Crowd on Netflix, the British show? If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. I know this is a tangent. I'm horrible with tangents, but you need to watch the IT Crowd. It's a British show. It's like it's almost like a rite of passage if you're going to be in the IT field to watch that. That and Office Space. Ah, nice. British. Man, look at this. We got someone from India, someone from Britain, wherever, England. I'm not really, still a little foggy on how all that works, but becoming zombie and zombie. So you bring a who was a what is that show? The Walking Dead fan. Or yeah, who watches The Walking Dead? Great seasons 1 through 3, and then after that, just bad, just atrocious. I had to jump. Anyway, sorry, tangents. I'm so bad at tangents. So this is our correct. It's been so long, I forgot who said it. That is our network ID. So let's calculate using our network ID, 192.168.128.0. First usable, last usable, broadcast. Let's take our information, learned what we learned before, and take that network ID and let's figure out what's our first usable range. 128.1. That's correct. Oh, I got to redo that 8. That's atrocious. 0, 0. Anybody watch Draw with Jazza? 1. On YouTube. I love that channel. I wish I could draw. Now, what's our next next thing we're going to compute out here? So we got our first usable of 128.1. Then what do we want to do? What piece of information? Are we going to go for the last usable or are we going to go for the broadcast? First usable, last usable, broadcast. Broadcast. What do we got? 131.255. Bad 5. 5. All right. Yeah, so you seen that? That's why I wrote this next network out, right? Remember odometer. IP addresses are like odometers. We rolled back that 0 to 255, and then that rolled back that second octet to 131. And then our last usable, 131.254. Correct. All right. So now I know all the information about this network that I am on, right? Numbers were changed. I don't know why. It's not like it's a security risk. Why is it not a security risk here? Anybody tell me why I don't really care? If you would know if that was my correct IP address, why it would matter? It doesn't matter. This doesn't deal with subnetting, but it just deals with IP addresses. Why does not IP address not matter? It's internal. It's a private range. Private range, right? Class C private. Yep. So there's definitely some natting going on in this thing, which we will talk about in the future. Ooh, I love some NAT, network address translation, some PAT, port address translation. We'll talk all about that in the future. Just tune in on this Saturday Pacific, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Saturday, and we will be talking networking, right? So not only subnetting, maybe I'll throw. I need to make a Twitter. I think I can do polls on Twitter. I'll figure out how to do a poll in the future. I'll throw it out on Reddit for you Redditors, and we'll figure out what we'll talk about next Saturday, right? You guys want to do another question? VLSM. You better believe we're gonna do VLSM small Bs. That is a good subject for next week. Who's down for doing some VLSM next week? Since you guys are actually here this week. Who's yeah, hey, I know how to do polls now. Let's do a poll. All right. Threw that poll out there. Let's see how it goes. VLSM next week. 100%. Two votes. Why am I only getting 2 votes? Is there really only 2 people? Real people in here? If you're real and you've been hiding in the shadows, just go ahead and just type yeah on there or something. I'm a real boy. Just do yes. Just everybody type yes. Even if you don't want to participate, just type yes, just so I know who's real. Small P's is real. Framed Geek is real. LCG1 is real. Neo is real. Adolf is real. So we got 1. But it says 10 viewers. That's so weird. Who else twitches? Well, that's got a double meaning. Not like twitches, but who uses Twitch? Why does it say 10? But oh, Gamer Pino. Ah, nice. So we've got, how many yeses do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Oh, so I guess that is an accurate number. Subnet calculating bot. You count 19. 19, where do you count that at? Oh my God, I count 19 also. Why is this different? That's different. That's different. I've got 2 laptops. Let's see. I don't think I can take my camera off and show you. Normally, I was running a little late today, but normally I have a green screen in the back. Bottom says 10. Yeah. I think a lot of the users that you see in chat, like I know Commander Root for sure, that's a bot. I think LoreX, that might be a bot. That POC3 Trace 3S. Professor Messer. What? Is Professor Messer really in here? God, you're my hero. Please say something if you're in here. Please. Are you in there? Is that a real thing? No. No. He's got a super good video. Ah, nice. Subscribe with Twitch Prime. He is the inaugural subscriber. I can't believe this. I got to tell all my buddies this. Awesome. Man, you taught me a lot in networking. You started this. You started this. Awesome. That is amazing. Oh, that's cool. That's amazing. Yeah. He's got an awesome, if you go and you YouTube the 7-second subnetting, it's a great, yeah, nice. Thank you. And a fellow ham too. So if you go on his YouTube channel, the 7-second subnetting, he probably does a way better job than me. I'm just a amateur compared to him. So nice. AG4DX. Let me think. I forgot what if mine has my home address. W4GFO. Yeah. Just to kind of keep an anonymity. How'd you find? Are you streaming on Twitch too now, or on your if you guys aren't familiar with Professor Messer, he runs a great YouTube channel, probably the best YouTube channel as far as CompTIA learning goes. A plus, Net plus, Security plus. He's got a whole all free video series. He's got a great. I've bought every single one of your what are those study guides, right? Man, yeah, he's a legend in the certification. I think it's been a while since I went on there because I haven't really been getting certs lately, but I think you were doing some Cisco stuff last time I checked, so that's big. All right, you guys want to keep now I'm all nervous. Oh man, now I'm all nervous. I got Professor Messer in there. Andy's a sub to the channel. Now I got to be on my game here. He does practice exams? I didn't know. Did practice exams now. I'm not a Twitch streamer. I'm doing it good. Yeah, live streams. Yeah, he does. You do them on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube live streams. But you got a big YouTube following. I have, I think, three or four people sub to me on YouTube. Or no, 12, I think. But, I'm trying to do the same thing, but on Twitch. But yeah, awesome. No pressure. All right. So you guys want to, let's, what was that? Subbed. Nice. Got another sub. Awesome. 5, try P. Nice. Never. Yeah. I love Twitch. I love Reddit. I love the whole internet community. All right. You guys want to do another quick practice? Somebody go ahead and just throw out a IP address with a subnet mask, any format. Yeah. Yeah, I got super good at subnetting like this. Standing in front of not only a live audience on Twitch, but a live audience in a classroom. You kind of have to be on your game. But I've been out of it for the training for the last 6 months, traveling the world. Nice. All right, we already got 2 subs. This is amazing. This is the best stream ever. Awesome. So somebody go ahead and throw out an IP address and throw out a subnet mask. Let's compute this. Let's figure out your network address, your first usable, your last usable, and your broadcast, right? The big four pieces of information. Just anybody. Just throw it out there. First one in chat. Speaking to Mr. Messer there, it's a lot harder to talk to a lens than it appears. I'm sure you're more than aware of that, but the chat definitely helps, but talking to yourself in a room is kind of an interesting thing. All right. We got CB4 News _champ. He was the first one up there. He or she, whoever they may be, they. So we've got 78. Uh-oh. This one's all weird. 20. Hope this isn't your actual. You just make up one. 3, 4 with the /22. First off, we don't have to do it, but let's do it. Let's convert that /22 into subnet dotted decimal format. Somebody throw dotted decimal. I'm not going to do it. You guys are going to do it. I can sit here all day and compute this stuff, but you guys are. I'm going to add Mr. Messer as a friend on Twitch. I'm going to tell my buddy this. This is amazing. All right, 22. 22 is 252 in the third. That is correct, small peas. That is correct, right? But we don't need to know that. What do we need to know? We need to know the network first, last in our broad. I suck at bees. Slow broadcast. Oh, my name is Matt, if you're interested. All right, so our network. So we have a /22, 252 in the third, right? That means that we are going to increment the third octet by 4, right? Now you remember that trick I told you about 128 slashing that in half, right? You can go back with that also, right? So we can go 78, 20, 128, 0, right? We can subtract too, right? It's all about time on those exams. I'm sure Mr. Messer can tell you. It's all about time on those exams. 1, 2, 4, 0, and then 7, 8, 20. So all of these little shortcuts that you figure out, there it's great. So what's our network address? Looking at those 3 that I wrote up there. What do you think our network address is? Network address. How's my audio sounding? Just kind of throw that out there. Hopefully it's been sounding good the whole stream. Desktop speakers. Nice. Who can tell me what our network address is? Come on. I can do this all day, but this is for you to learn, not for me to learn. That's the beauty of Twitch interaction. 120.0, right? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just so I don't have to write, right? So that network right there, 120.0. So what does that mean our first usable is? Fine. You're just overly paranoid. Nice. Yeah. Does anybody know me in this chat? I know I told a few people. 120.1. That means our network +1, right, is our first usable. What about our broadcast? Somebody throw out the broadcast while I'm sitting here going on a tangent. Yeah. Does anybody know me for in real life? Has anybody met me? All right. We're going to have our next network -1, which would be 70, 78, 20, 123, 125. That is correct. 123.2. I said 125. It's 255. So that's that network -1. And then our last usable is 123.254, right? So now let's do a quick kind of real world question. We got a little bit of time left here. Let's do a quick little question. Let me see if I can come up with a question. I'm going to have to freehand draw this because I don't have one pre-prepared, but I can come up with one real quick. Let's say we have computer 1 and computer 2. They are connected via switch. There's a bunch of other stuff on the network too, but we're not going to draw all the devices. They're connected via switch. Let's say computer 1 IP address is 192.168.2.9 with a subnet mask of, let's do a /27 and then 192.168.2.45 with S/27. So there is a switch. That is a switch connecting those. These two devices cannot communicate. You try to ping. You go on to. I'm on computer 2. I'm trying to ping device number 1, and it is not returning a result. Why? Don't say it in the chat before you type it. Don't hit enter. But why? We're going to work it out, right? So we're going to work this out. So I'm on computer 1 or computer 2, right? I do an IP config, and that's the information I get out. I'm trying to ping computer 1 with this switch in between. I can't do it, right? It's not working. So I need to figure out why, right? I'm troubleshooting. This is how you troubleshoot, right? So let's say first off /27. Let's make our cursor a little bigger here. Highlight /27. That means 32, and the fourth. That means our fourth octet's going to be going up by 32. So let's say 192. Let's start writing out these networks. 68.0.0 or no. 2.0 192.168.2.32, right? What network are we in? 192.168.2.64. Looks like we're in this computer 1 is in this 32 network, right? So if we do our big 4 network, first usable, last usable, broadcast, right? What's our network address? 192.168.2.32. First usable is, I'm just going to do the last octet, 33. Broadcast is our next network -1, which is .2.63. Last usable is 2.62, right? So why can computer 2 or device 2 not ping? Why are pings not working? Why are they not working? With all that information I just gave you, it's because they are in different networks. So for two devices to communicate on different networks, so PC1, so small piece, PC1 is on the 2.0 network and PC2 is on the 2.32 network, right? So there's one easy way to fix this, right? What's the easiest way to fix this? Go to computer 1 or 2, figure out what the actual range is for this network. You know, you can look at your documentation, other devices, and let's say computer 1 is the wrong one, so we're going to change that 9. What are we going to change it to? Somebody give me an IP, a correct IP to change that to. What am I going to change that last octet to? So to make 1 communicate with 2. 61. Yeah, that's in the usable range. So I'm going to change it. Oh, not red. Probably can't read red. Let's go yellow. 61. Right? So now they're in the same range. Boom. 44. Yeah, 44 would have worked, right? Also, if let's say they are legitimately in different networks, right? What would this device right here have to be? I'm giving you a hint. That's a hint. Yeah, you'd have to put a router there, right? But most likely, you're just going to change the IP. You're not going to deinstall a switch and install a router. A hub. Come on. A hub, really? Now, you laugh and you say a hub, but if you do any government or military IT, you may encounter hubs in your career. I have. They are still out there. They're alive and well, surprisingly, and it's scary. It's on small scale networks, but you do see them. But yeah, if you don't know what a hub is just basically a multi-port repeater. All kinds of collisions. We'll talk about that and devices in the future. Or you can hop on over to good old Professor Messer's channel on YouTube and do a he's got awesome videos about all those broadcasts, collisions, all that good stuff. All right, so my time is winding down here. You guys, I think I planned on stopping at 5 p.m. just because I am renting this room, but with those 2 subs, that might keep it going. Or if more people sub, I might keep it going too, because I've got to pay out of pocket for this room. I am not fortunate enough, like Professor Messer, to have my own studio. I wish I did. One day, maybe. One day. Yes, in YouTube. What do you mean? What do you mean? Off topic. Is this video saved? Oh yeah. Okay. I had to read the previous one. Yeah. I'm gonna throw this over on YouTube. Hopefully, I think Twitch records it. If not, I don't know, because I forgot to hit record on OBS. Amateur move. I need to have a checklist for this. You guys want to do or we can, we'll do future one of these in the future. Are you the sub network? No, I wish. It's the sub network training here. Let me pull it up. The sub network on YouTube is already taking. It was a which computer am I on? Let me see. I posted it on the Reddit post. I'll just pull it off there and post it. So the sub network on the sub network on YouTube is a old dormant account for like you sub to them and they sub back to you or something. I don't know, something like that. But let me see. Hey, my karma went up because that's important. Karma pays bills. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Copy that link. Let's see if I can paste links in chat. I should be able to. I own the chat room. Yeah, TSN Globe logo. Yeah, that crappy logo. Yeah, that's something I made in like, I don't know, an hour on a weekend. I should go on Fiverr and have someone design a better logo. So if you're interested, this should, if Twitch does what it's supposed to do and saves this will be posted up on YouTube there, all my ramblings and everything for history to see. All right. You guys want to do another quick somebody actually, you guys probably have textbooks and stuff like that, or homework or something that you, maybe a subnetting question. Somebody challenge me. Somebody post a subnetting style question in the chat, and let's see if I can solve it / you guys help me solve it. How about that? Let's see if somebody has something out there. We'll give it a couple minutes. If you're typing it up, just go ahead and type "I'm typing" so that I know to wait. But if nobody says that in the next minute, then we will kind of, I guess, move along and figure out what we're going to do. I don't know why I had this wind thing on there. I should get a Messer style microphone instead of a shotgun mic. What do you use? If you're still in chat, you use I think it's like a Heil or something like that. Yeah. Expensive mic. $400 mic. Oh, we got one typing. We're going to stand by. What should I ramble on about? Who works IT already? The PR40. Yeah, that's an expensive mic. There's a good YouTube channel, Booth Junkie. I watch it all the time. Oh, it's not too bad actually. $329. This mic was $120, but it's not really. This is just something I had. It's not really. It's more designed for like, I don't know, documentary interview type thing. Not really for Twitch streaming. The Heil PR40. Heil sound. Yeah, I don't have a shock mount, so you probably hear all the bumps on the table. Yeah, no kidding. Considering that's your main gig. Nice. I've always been told I have a face for radio. I'm not for sure what that really means, but hopefully I took it as a compliment. Yeah. 1K divided 10 years. Yeah, who keeps a PC for 10 years though, really? I get a new laptop every 12 to 18 months. Yeah. But if you build it yourself, you can always upgrade it. That's what I did with my son's PC. Me and him built one. And then anytime he wants to play a new game and it doesn't work, boom, throw a new GPU in there, throw a new CPU in there, throw a new motherboard. You know, you can just keep upgrading it. So you probably could keep a PC for that long, especially if you're just, using it for daily use, not doing anything crazy. V and K. I think that's a bot too. What's your expert opinion on my stream here, Mr. Messer? Any critiques? I'm all about constructive criticism. You have to be, especially. Nice. How do I? Yeah, I can't write clearly either, as you can tell, but I have been practicing. That's why I've actually been doing, like, trying to do more art on here. I'm not at all an artist, but it kind of helps with my penmanship, right? Just do a little character. It's encouraging me to see at Professor Silly. Yeah. Yeah, that is nice. You never stop learning. Never stop learning. Especially as an IT. If you're in the IT field and you do not like learning, you're in the wrong field. Because just when you get comfortable with something, it's obsolete and something new comes out. Just when you get comfortable with IPv4, which I guess, it's been around forever, but in comes IPv6 and it's got some similarities, but it's got a lot of differences. Just anything in IT, Just when, Windows Server 2008's getting good, boom, new version comes out, right? InfoSec. I've been military for 15 years. I'm not really a good person to ask about interviews. I've never really had a real job. I've just, yeah, they tell me where to go and what to do. So I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not really a good I fear that when I retire and have to get an actual job. That's what I'm trying to do here, so that I don't have to get an actual job, so that I can have fun with you guys online. This is my dream. We always ask, yeah, everything about ARP, address resolution protocol. That's so that's a good point. Channel 4 News. I don't know if you're actually a news station, but about going in and having Juniper equipment. That's why it's good to learn Cisco specific stuff, but I think too often people just focus too much on Cisco. They learn the commands, they know how to act, they know how to implement a ACL and a Cisco equipment, and then they come into a different vendor's equipment and they're just totally lost, right? Not totally lost, but then they have to kind of restart over. I've always been under the mindset of you learn the fundamentals. That's what I love about CompTIA is it hits really good with the fundamentals. And if you understand the fundamentals, you're just a manual's read away from configuring a device. Like I've seen too many times coworkers because we use a lot of Cisco equipment, and just like anybody, right? They know Cisco, they know it in and out, and then they hop on an HP switch or something, and they're just like or like an IBM piece of equipment, and they have like a virtual, and they got to configure it, and they're just totally lost because they don't understand the fundamentals. Always learn the fundamentals, the behind the scenes, not really. Yeah. Security Plus. I took my Security Plus a couple years ago. I think, actually, I think I might be up for a renewal here in a while. I renewed it. What is it, every 2 years, 3 years? Oh, we have the expert. Professor Messer knows. What is it, every 3 years or 2 years you have to renew those CompTIA certs? I've got my Net Plus and Sec Plus. 3 years. Nice. I normally just do the what is that? Continuing education. Because if you work in any sort of DoD role, you have to maintain those certs, which is good. They pay for it. I've never had to pay for a cert in my life. They send me to all those nice schools. All right, doesn't look like, I don't know if we're still waiting for a question, but we're at 5 p.m., so that's my quitting time. So nice. We got a lot accomplished. Any remaining questions or anything? I think pretty big consensus. We will do some what is that? The VLSM, variable link subnet masking next week. What's my name? Matt. M-A-T-T. M-A-T-T. Just like those things you put on the floor and step all over, but with 2 T's. Well, good night. Me, 6:30 a.m. Yeah, India. What part of India are you from before you take off? Thank you. No, thank you guys for following and subscribing. 2 subscribers. Professor Messer, the #1 subscriber, and TRIPWIR3S, second subscriber. Oh, awesome. Thank you guys. Current CC is 2020. I've never taken a Cisco exam, actually. It's not really a requirement for my job. Never really had to. Tripwire. Ooh, yeah, Tripwire. You're right. But they had it all in leak speak. Awesome. Anything else? I can hang around for a couple more minutes if anybody's got any more questions. Any questions about me? My half glove. So it slides on it. In your production, do you use IPv6? I have encountered IPv6, but not a lot. Southeast, but I'm studying it north. We have the same C as in Chennai. Yeah, Chennai was a nice place. I hung out at the mall and the hotel a lot, but took those yellow cabs around. Got a nice one of those, what do they call them, singing bowls. You tap the side and you spin it around and it makes a really high-pitched noise. That was pretty cool. Got some brass statues that weighed a ton, cost a lot to send home, all that nice stuff. IPv6 for next week? No, Neo, I think we're doing VLSM. IPv6 is, yeah. No exam requires you to subnet IPv6. So that's we'll cover it in the future, but it's more like what the different addresses are and how to identify them and go into hexadecimal and all that good stuff. But yeah, Wireshark. I don't know how much into Wireshark I would have to figure something out. Maybe in the next couple months I would have to get more equipment. Yeah, that just because the network I'm on is not my network, and I don't think this place would appreciate me spinning up Wireshark and watching traffic and throwing it on the internet. I don't know. I'd have to see. But maybe we can get what is that, Cisco packet tracer. Yeah, maybe we can get some packet tracer. See, so you bring up GNS3. I need to really get I need to figure out how to use that app. I downloaded it like a year ago and tried to figure it out, but I couldn't even get a router spinning up. I need to dedicate like an entire week of learning GNS3. We could do it like that. And so instead of doing a I guess theory lesson like we did today, we can actually do a actual, like configure a network, actually compute subnets and assign them to devices and stuff like that. Or we could just do it in packet tracer. That's what I normally would do in front of classes. Packet tracer is good. I don't know if that breaks the terms of agreement or whatever with that app, but I do have a copy of it. I think it's faster to set up a bare metal router and switch. LOL. Yeah, I don't know if I would. Yeah, we'll look at doing packet tracer in the future. Maybe I'll spin that up this week and kind of take a look and refresh my memory. What time are we at? Does anybody know me in here? Nobody said yes earlier, but what kind of games do you guys like? I was thinking about what games I could play as I answer networking questions, if that's something people are interested. If you don't, if that's not an interest, let me know. Just because I definitely don't want to make this into a gaming channel. That's not my motives. But if it could be something, instead of just looking at my ugly face right now and me talking into a mic, it could be having something in the background, maybe. And we could just be having a chat like this and answering questions and, helping chat and all that good stuff, building a community here. Let me see. Do I still have his number? Yeah. You could Wireshark your gaming stream. Yeah, yeah. Can you imagine the packet traffic coming across there? Oh man, I don't know if the lag would be. Man, you don't want to watch me play Fortnite. I've played it with my son before. It's a shameful sight. I am not your stereotypical IT during day gamer at night. Like if I played a game, I have Goat Simulator and I have which is a hilarious game. It's not even really a game. And Fallout 4 is the main game I play most of the time. Nice. Yeah, have a good one, Professor Messer, and thanks for all what you do too. And if you didn't get that earlier, go ahead and check him out on YouTube. Great. He does weekly study sessions, way more better produced than me by far. But hopefully one day I hope to be at his level. Man, I would just love to do that job. You have my dream job, sir. You have my dream job, that's for sure. All right. I think I am going to go ahead and sign off so that I don't go over my time for this room and have to pay more. But thanks for the subs. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the support. If you're free next Saturday at 3 p.m., there's going to be a different background. I'm actually going to be in my home turf then. We will be picking this up at 3 p.m. Pacific. I don't know what that is Eastern. You guys can compute all that. But I am going to go ahead and sign off. 6 p.m. Eastern. That's right. 3 hours. So I will be in, what is that? Central. So that'll be 5 p.m. Central. So I'll be traveling next week, but I'll go ahead and pick up the stream for sure. And just the background will change, but the atmosphere will stay the same, I guess. You guys have a good one. Thanks for all the support and subs and follows and all that. And go ahead and let your friends know too. Oh, yeah. Let your friends know. Post it on Reddit. Post it on your social media. And yeah, let's see if we can break, I don't know, 20 viewers. Let's get some more subs next week. I appreciate it. Have a good one.